This is the best and worst best pictures, rank worst to best from the 30s, but also from the 2 movies from the 20s that are also best pictures.
Going forward, it's going to be every decade, but we didn't want to just do
You didn't want to rank
2.
the 2 movies, guys. Come on.
Doesn't matter. We got it.
Are we starting from the bottom now? We're here.
Yeah, just like Drake.
Okay.
Number
So,
12.
number 12 is Cavalcade. It's the worst one.
Also my bottom. So
Cavalcade sucks. The story sucks. These early movies, a couple of them are supposed to be like about people living through like decades worth of events. But the problem with that is we don't spend enough time marinating on the events with the people. Like in Cavalcade, two characters die on the Titanic and they're just never brought up again. Nobody even mentions the fact that they died.
Yep.
Yep, it's weird and disjointed, and I hate every minute of it, except the opening and the ending. They're pretty good, but it's still bad.
It's just a boring, gross mess of just like, here's a bunch of shit and hope it sticks, and none of it sticks.
Yep, I agree completely.
And it won Best Picture.
Yep.
Yep.
It lives up to the name.
Well, now movies barely existed back then, so.
You make a fantastic point. It was like, what, the 5th winner?
Speaking of movies that barely existed, Cimarron. Not talked about today. That's my second worst one.
I have that one and this next one basically tied in score, but Broadway Melodies boring.
Broadway Melody sucks. The main characters are unlikable.
Yep.
It's very, very violently sexist.
Yep.
Cimarron starts really strong, and I put it above Broadway Melody.
Yep, for that reason.
purpose. Also,
That being said, painfully racist also devolves into bad. Very
listen, I'm
quickly.
putting like a 3 above a 2. You know?
I'm putting a 3 above a 3. They're the same.
Yeah, I would put Cimarron as a hot, fresh 0. It's incredibly racist, and the themes of the movie that are good are weighed down by the racism because they contradict the racism, and it's really annoying.
It's breathtaking how unaware that film is.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my second worst one. That's just about it. I don't want to talk about Cimarron anymore. So my next number 10. We're in the top 10, baby. Let's go. Woo! The Life of Emile Zola is what I picked. I think it's really, really misguided and disjointed and annoying, and tries to rewrite history but doesn't do a good job rewriting or writing at all.
Mine's Cimarron now. That bad.
Mine's 2 hours of racism, also known as Cimarron.
Yep.
Tight. So tight.
Also, the ending of Cimarron sucks. Like,
wow.
not just the ending, the last 40 minutes.
The last 2 hours.
In the conquest to not talk about Cimarron as little as possible, let's go with number 9.
You
Mine
said not
is
talk about Cimarron as little as possible, so we're going to keep talking about it. Double negatives, bitch.
The Great Ziegfeld, bitch.
Hey, Sam, that movie was boring as
Hey,
shit.
my guy.
That movie was way too long.
It was boring as shit.
I'm in the same
We
boat.
watched Ziegfeld and Zola, and it's like, oh my god, these Z movies need to stop.
It's not the worst one. It's not even the bottom like 2 or 3, but that's because it's not painfully racist, I guess. Except
It's
it is.
painfully boring.
In the middle of it, it's actually
oh,
pretty
right,
racist.
there's the blackface dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
I
Zero.
actually rescind my comment. It is kind of racist.
That was so out of left field that my brain just blocked it out.
Right. Right. Oh my
And it
god.
added, much like all of the elaborate dance numbers, the blatant blackface added nothing.
You know what? Yeah, this is
Because-
my god, it's bad.
Also, Ziegfeld is just a bad character. He makes no
Yeah.
sense because, like, I don't know what it is. This movie and a couple others, like, they have this archetype of, like, the honest thief, where it's like, I don't have $1 to my name. I can't help you in any way, shape, or form, but please fuck me. And then the girl's like, oh, he's just so dashing.
Yep.
It's like, this sucks.
I love ancient writing.
I agree.
It's so good.
So good.
All right, number 8 is Broadway Melody. You guys mentioned it already.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's bad. It is so lackluster. The amazing sequences do not hold up. I don't even think they were that good for the
There's
time.
no amazing.
There's one that's
I'll
good.
give Ziegfeld this. There is amazing sequences in that. Broadway Melody? No.
Broadway Melody has one that's good, but it doesn't overshadow the 30 that are bad.
And like you were saying,
Yeah.
Mud, about another movie, yeah, no, it has no self-awareness of what it's doing.
Yeah.
And that's really annoying
It's
to
like-
watch.
Come away from that man who's going to rape you so that I can rape
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, baby!
I reward
Love
this
that.
movie one bolted and underlined yike.
Yep.
I have Zola here.
I
I
also
don't
have
remember
Zola.
it being offensively bad. It's just kind of boring. Not that great.
It does its best to bend over backwards to not talk about what it's supposed to talk about.
Yep. I gave
Zola
it like
sucks, but
I don't
it's
remember
here.
what I gave it here. It's just like, oh, it's bad, but it's not like blatantly bad like the rest of the
It's
ones below
boring
it.
as sin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next one up for me would be Gone with the Wind. Now I know
Oh, me too.
this movie is so great, and I agree that it's so good, but it's bogged down by really, really not great things. So, oh my god, Equalizes to about a 6 out of 10.
Yep.
It's better than a lot of the just racist movies, because it's not just racist.
It's racism, but with talent sprinkled in there.
Sprinkled in talent of racism, so I don't know.
Yeah,
to build on that, because Gone with the Wind is also here for me. Oh my god, the main character's so unlikable.
Yeah.
Scarlet? We cannot talk about how Scarlet's a bad character for 45 more minutes. She's terrible.
I just want to say, I read a synopsis of the book after we watched the movie. She's worse in the book.
God, I can't stand that. Speaking of things you can't stand, Grand Hotel, I'm just kidding, it was fine. I like Grand Hotel a little bit. I put it as my number 6
the thing
out of
about
10.
Grand Hotel for me is it's just another movie on this list, but worse.
Yeah, I see that. I see your point there, and that one is also better, the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I put it mid-tier. I think
like,
it does
it's
okay.
fine, but if you're gonna compare, you can't.
Yeah,
One's
that's fair.
way better.
That's fair. But still, I would say that it deserves to be here.
All right, fuck me then. Mine's Wings.
Ah.
Very good film. Great start to the Academy Awards. Slow.
Yep.
Slow.
Yeah.
Starts off really, really.
Characters are kind of meh.
Yeah, no, I can see
Outside
that.
the main two. Mid-tier film, like I said when we watched it, I don't think I'd ever watch it again in my life.
I agree with a lot of what you just said. That's one of the reasons it's next on my list.
It is
but,
also next on mine.
Oh! Okay, so we're in the top 5 now. Yeah, Wings is slapping.
I can't wait to talk about our top 5, where I go Wings is barely above a mid because the character development's really fucking bad. Everyone's kind of bland, boring, and kind of.
I think some character
All of
development
the
is good.
women in the movie are just there to be objects to the men, and the two main
Yes.
characters are the only characters that have any good interactions with each other.
I agree with that.
It
yes.
starts way too slow. You can
Although-
cut like 50 minutes out of it. It's not great, but it's all right.
I think that Jack and the other guy, they were both pretty solid in terms of
Yeah,
characterization.
they're good. That's it.
Yeah.
So, number 5 for me, Ian's gonna kill me. It's Mutiny on the Bounty.
Oh,
Murder time.
Wow.
Murder
Great
time.
film. Really good acting and pretty interesting effects, if I do say so myself, with the boat.
Yep.
That being said, knowing that they basically had to rewrite all of history to make the conflict work, not a huge fan of that. It's a bold-faced lie.
Fair enough. Gotta give you that. My number 4 is Mutiny on the Bounty. Murder time. Yeah, I know. But no, this movie is pretty bumping. I think the next 3 after this are truly great, and Mutiny is just really good and really solid. And I would put it up there in the top echelon of movies. But yeah, no, I enjoyed almost every part of it. And Clark Gable, man, what can we say about him? He's so good. He carries
What can
that
we say
lead
about
role.
him? I think we've only said universal praise about him.
I know, only good things, goddamn. But yeah, no, I love Mutiny. What's your number 4, Ian?
You Can't Take It With You. You Can't Take It With You was actually really, really good, really, really interesting, had some good acting, had some interesting plot, all around good. Nothing really wowed me throughout the whole thing, but I got very interested and very invested.
All right.
Man, you're right. Clark Gable is amazing. That's why my number 4 is It Happened One Night.
All right.
Very modern kind of film, I almost feel. Clark Gable acts the shit out of his role in that film, and so does the girl whose name unfortunately escapes me at the moment, but it felt like I could see this film like being remade today. Honestly, it reminds me of what's that movie? After Midnight?
After Earth with Will Smith. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say
Jesus
After
fucking
Earth.
Christ. No, After Midnight or Before Midnight?
It's the Before trilogy.
Yeah, the Before
Of
trilogy
movies.
kind of reminds me of that, of two strangers just meeting. It really feels like the template for a lot of films nowadays, and Spaceballs. So fuck
Yeah,
it.
fair enough.
Number 4.
And space.
All right, number 3 is going to be a hot, fresh, You Can't Take It With You. This movie is so good. It holds up today, no matter who you are, how old you are, what kind of things you're into. It's a movie for you. You'll love it. It's so good. It deserves to be in the top 3 of this list.
All right, It Happened One Night. Clark Gable, dummy talented, super interesting, good rom-com love story. I don't like that genre of movie. This one slapped. It's up there.
It
Has
is up
to
there.
be up there.
Yeah.
It is.
My number 3, Grand Hotel.
Okay.
Fucking sucker for ensemble films. These, one night sort of like all their lives change because they all interact in the right way. Didn't really feel like everyone was super important, so that's kind of why it's only number 3, but holy shit, this shit slaps.
Yeah, give it that to you. That's really good. Number 2, we're in the upper tier, boys. I got to go All Quiet on the Western Front. This was my number 1 for a long time. But after reviewing it, I put it number 2. Either way, no matter how you slice it, it deserves to be towards the top. It still has stuff to say about today, even though it's almost been 100 years since it came out.
Now, that's because war is war.
War is war. And also, wasn't this between the world wars?
Yes.
That's like huge. So you can see the time capsule of what this movie is trying to say about war right before arguably one of the biggest wars in history. So that says something.
It's after the biggest war and right before the biggest war.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it
it's
was
really
after
cool.
the war to end all wars, and
yeah.
then it was before the war to end all wars part 2.
Wow,
the
a
sequel.
huge world war. Good thing we'll never have that again. Well,
Right.
what if there was World War II?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, World War One. If World War was so good, why didn't they ever make World War Two?
They did, dog, and it was
Yeah.
huge.
And joking aside, it has some really important themes and messages, and it's worth watching. So
I'm glad I get to talk about All Quiet on the Western Front now. What a
Hey.
fucking banger. The whole time was interesting, awesome. It felt modern. You notice all these movies that feel modern are towards the top of the list, and all the ones that feel like poopy dog shit 30s garbage are at the bottom of the list. Wow, what a fucking coincidence. I can't wait till we get into all modern, and it's like, 8's for okay movies, and 7's for okay movies, instead of, man, this feels like I sat and watched a stationary camera for 20 minutes. This is awesome. This movie was cool, violent, bloody, gritty, and real, and had so much to say. Yes. Fuck me up.
All right, my number 2 is You Can't Take It With You.
all right.
Frank Capra classic. It's a Frank Capra classic.
It
and
is.
that scene in the jail cell where he says you can't take it with you completely just disarmed me when we were watching it. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe like that's what the title was referencing. That was the point of the movie. And you know, like I said with Grand Hotel, it feels like kind of a template for what was to come. And you know, it happened one night. These are founding films right here that we're watching. We're watching films that, whether intentionally or unintentionally, are rippling through films of the same genre.
And even if we didn't like some of them, like Cimarron really did a lot for the Western.
Yeah.
Regardless of how shitty tier it is, like it actually did do a lot. So every one of these films obviously has their merit, except Cavalcade. Every one of these films has merit.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that
Aside
statement
from
exactly.
Cavalcade, there's a reason that these all won.
Right. I agree with that completely. And we're into the big top metal.
I almost did that. So we have any honorable mentions?
There are no honorable
That's not how
mentions.
this works.
Yeah.
There's
we
no
want to get
more.
technical, our bottom 2.
Yeah. I think Green Book was probably up there as an honorable mention. All right.
Literally one.
I would say It Happened One Night is the best movie of the 30s and also the later half of the 20s because that's what we're kind of doing here. It Happened One Night is so fucking great. It holds up through and through. It was between this and All Quiet. I edged towards this because, oh my God, if you watch this, it's got such a powerful, powerful heart in it. Like, you empathize and sympathize with the main characters on screen, and it's funny. It's got a great message, great morals, great themes, while being humorous, comedic, and also just hitting you at the end of it.
It's Clark Gable in
It's
it.
got Clark Gable in the lead
You
role.
can't
and
go wrong
slaps.
with Clark.
Can't go wrong with Clark. I wish he was in every film.
Yeah, speaking of a film with Clark Gable in it, Mutiny on the Bounty. Fuck you guys. It's almost a 10. Shit slaps. I love the story, and I'm okay with changing something for entertainment as long as it works. And I feel like it worked. I understand historical accuracy, blah, blah, blah. Throw that shit out the window. Fuck. You want to watch a documentary? No, I want to watch something entertaining. I think this film's wildly entertaining, super well acted. From fucking Clark Gable to fucking what's his name, little virgin blonde-haired boy. Everyone in this movie is an amazing actor. Even Evil Man, who fucking no one liked because he's accurate. Well, he's a dickhead, but he acts so good. Everything about this movie, except that one boat effect on the smaller boat. The bigger ones look great.
So good, it went vertical.
The bigger ones looked awesome. And then the smaller ones, it's like, okay, I see why this happened. It's so interesting and so entertaining. And Clark Gable's so good. And then everyone else is so good. And it's interesting. And the people of color are played by people of color.
That's
Yeah.
monumental for the
Woo!
30s.
That is
It's
spectacular.
so good. And I know I have a soft spot because boat. That's it. I don't have anything else to say after that. I love movie where they go on boat and it is sailing and that's it. It's a genre that is good.
Fair enough. Mud,
Travel good.
gotta ask, what's your number one?
bad movie comparatively to Boat.
Not a bad movie. Way better.
Nope.
We're talking about Pirates 1.
Bad, terrible dog shit.
I mean, I know what your number one is based on process of elimination.
Wow,
but,
it's almost like it's the only one I haven't talked about yet. In terms of delivering a powerful message, which is what I would say at the end of the day, I rank these films by. It happened one night, Grand Hotel, You Can't Take It With You. My top 4 really, really deliver a powerful punch with like their motive.
Yep.
Wings, for as boring as it is, has a good message about,
I agree.
war and shit like that. So naturally, the number one for me is the film with just, in my opinion, the best message, which is war and war is hell. And that's All Quiet on the Western Front. In terms of like just memorable scenes, this movie's got the dude turning into hands, those shots of everyone inside their bunker as the numbers just slowly dwindle. That scene of Paul with the dead body in the hole, and he's just talking to it and he's losing his mind. Him enlisting at the beginning of the film only to come home and realize that it will never be the same. Everything in this film. And the best part is it's a World War I film told from the perspective of the losing side.
Yep,
the
which is
Germans.
really, really, really interesting.
That's fascinating to me because like these aren't, like it's important to make a distinction, I feel, between the Germans in World War I and the Germans in World War II.
Yep.
Because our society kind of leaves World War I by the wayside. It's been coming back recently as like people were like, no, they were two separate wars. But, for a long time, people really kind of treated World War I and World War II as like one event. And because of that, Germans are Nazis. And it's like, no, these aren't Nazis. They're just boys signing up because some fucking asshole shot an archduke in the Balkans and now everyone needs to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what World War I was. And I think this film exemplifies that.
I will never forget that dude turning into hands via the bomb.
He was
just hands. Yep, that was amazing. And that will conclude our wonderful little list. Are you guys excited for the best and worst pictures of the best pictures of 1940s of pictures?
I think there's a couple in here that I'm excited for, but they're not until a little bit later. Like the ones that we're going to be watching, the next two, I'm thinking they're going to be dog shit.
I can't wait to watch the real greatest film ever made, How Green Was My Valley.
Yeah, great. Oh, I can talk about how it's better than Citizen Kane, probably.
Got him.
It's going to be so interesting to talk about this, because it's like, oh, Citizen Kane's the best film ever. Why didn't it win Best Picture?
Well, why didn't it win, idiot?
Why didn't it win anything? It won for Best Screenplay.
True. Also, we have Casablanca on this list. I'm excited for that because Ian for years
has
said that he does not like Casablanca.
Boring.
I've never seen Casablanca.
Never seen it, so I'm excited to get into it.
You guys haven't seen it? It's a classic. It's also not that good.
Got him. All right. See you next time.